Children are empowered in Focus on K2 at lots of levels and in different ways and consistently. The curriculum is designed to really shine a light on children's voices and children's agency in their learning.
The students are engaged and focused in their centers because of their power to choose where they want to learn. A teacher's role and focus is to observe and plan, so that way you know what your students' interests are. They're working on things that interest them and that work on their strengths, and also incorporating literacy into each of those centers. Hi, my name is Christine Coughlin. I am a kindergarten inclusion teacher at the Blackstone Innovation School.
I'm going to need you to keep facing this way for centers.
After morning meeting, we go into centers.
Well, let me tell you what the objective is.
Each center's time starts with an introduction to center's whole group meeting.
Okay, Dramatic Play Center. We are brainstorming for new ideas. Right now it's a flower shop, but before you go into the flower shop, I need you to come up with a new idea so that way we can vote on what we're going to change it next.
That's a time for a teacher to introduce or suggest or invite children to do different kinds of activities in different centers.
Science Center.
I can introduce the center with the objective, and then during centers, if needed, I can refer them back to that objective. And then also sometimes I start by sharing an example of students' work.
Sensory Center, we're sorting real words and nonsense words. So I have the two buckets. If it's a real word, we recycle it. Real words, we recycle. And nonsense words, trash.
Sometimes they don't know what a finished piece of work looks like. And sometimes when I display that example, there's a couple of students like, oh, I want to go there. So it's also to hook them, to get them to go to that center.
And Ryan recycled some things here. He took all these words that were not real words and he changed a letter to make it a real word. So he had the word Kaz and he changed the Z to an R and he has car. Nice job, Ryan.
Another reason is to say, you can do it because your peer did it also. And an unspoken reason is to say, this child's already been working here. If you need help, you could go and ask him. All of those messages are wrapped up in bringing a child to the forefront, lifting a child up onto the stage to say, here's how we do it. Beyond that, it's an opportunity for children to make a plan for their work time.
Thank you very much for meeting my expectations that whole time. What is your first and second choice? Where will you go? Whisper.
So here we see children taking on some agency around their learning.
Touch your nose if you have your plan.
And then children go to centers, and we see them moving around classrooms, making decisions about where to work and for how long to stay there.
They're going to be more engaged in the center because they chose it, and they're most interested in it. If students want to stay the entire time at the Block Center for that day, then they can. They're just free to choose the center that they want to go and learn in.
So, draw and label your plans for the Block Center. So we're making a recycling center. So this is where the bottles go. What else?
I see it as my job to make sure that I'm incorporating literacy into each of those centers. For example, in the Block Center, they first had to illustrate their plans for building. So that also helps with self-regulation skills before they go and build. They're planning out what they're actually going to do.
Good. What other things can we recital? Keys. Stretch that out. Stretch that out. You got it, girl.
So the writing center was actually a different center before today. So they had to go there, and I wanted them to draw and label 4 things that they can do to help the earth. But actually nobody went there for like 2 days. So over the weekend I'm like, how can I change it to get kids to come there, right? Because they're not going there because they're not interested in it. So I changed it to a superhero, and then, I had students visit that center there today.
You really want my face all the way? My face. Let's see if we can cover it.
This way? Let's see, one this way.
But the hair. Oh, I can make it more. Yeah. I can stick it. Okay, do we have anything? This is right here. I'm gonna be like here. Look at me. Say, look at me. I want to make my hair blue. I want my hair blue.
They had to go there, design their own superhero. They're practicing their writing skills because they are writing sentences or they're labeling their superhero, they're naming the superhero, and they're also practicing comprehension skills because they're working on a character.
I know she's, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited. What's going on? Tell me about your character.
I'm gonna recycle because it's a landfill. I'm gonna recycle the stuff from the landfill.
From the where?
From the landfill.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna recycle the stuff from the landfill.
Wow. What is your character's name? Your superhero?
Recycling man.
Okay, tell me about your character.
He recycles stuff, and if somebody have a plastic bottle or anything you can recycle with, he can fly it down and say, you can recycle with it. See that sign? Recycle.
Recycling. Did you say man?
Yeah.
Recycling man. I love it. So he recycles, but he also stops people from throwing garbage away.
Yeah.
What else about him? He flies.
He
Tell me more about your character.
His superpower is recycling stuff. And his other power is to fly down and talk to a friend to recycle it.
Okay, I got it. What's this say here?
I tried the water.
Okay. Can you find the word water on here? The word water's on here.
Miss Coughlin, what's the path again? I forgot.
So our earth saving, so you point and I'll read. Our earth saving, that's water. Okay, point to the word the again. Where is it? There it is. Okay, copy it there because you know that word. That's a list of all the words you know. Okay, good. How about the trick word A? You found it! Okay, record that word right there, buddy. I'm gonna start this over. We got the book ready, we put the headphones on. Press the star. Press the smiley face. All right, I'll be back. I think Focus has a huge component of that community building in the beginning of the year, building these skills of community and also independence. Okay, now let's count. How many Legos did you use?
Yes, yes. Oh, this is great though. Always use a little bit more thing. When you strip recycle that too, right? All right.
Okay, 12. Which one is the number 12? What 2 digits make the number 12? Look on this side. Which one's the number 12? I actually had a student in the math center. I was able to direct him back to the objective and how he's going to do it. Also, there's no pressure. So the centers are here during the week. They're not here today, gone tomorrow. And, depending on my students' levels or abilities,
they can work on some of it today and then finish it on the next day because, the center's there. So they're like projects.
Okay, Ryan, where's your bean plant? We need it.
It's right there.
Oh, I see it. How about we bring it on this side? Was this one?
Yeah, it's the big one. It's really tall.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So first you said, here, let's see. I don't even think we can fit under this magnifying glass here. So first you said, I see something. So there was something there. Okay, now what do you see?
The butterflies.
Tishan, you want to come to the science center? Please remember to clean up.
Oh, maybe I can write it down here because I got more space.
Well, this is for a different day. So this was like a second day that you observed it. Now you can put day 3 and then draw because it doesn't really look like this anymore because I see stem, leaf, stem. And over here it looks like stem, leaf, stem, leaf again.
Leaf? Maybe it's
Aiden, you want to sit here so you can be close to the butterflies?
Oh, I know why it's like that. It's gonna turn into
Watch out for the
a
dirty
big flower.
water.
It's gonna turn into a
You
flower on
think
top.
so? What makes you say that it's going to turn into a flower?
Because I see there's a little hole sign like it's gonna bloom open.
Oh. Okay. Record what you see. I like that prediction. Start a new page, Ryan.
Move it.
So what are you going to write?
Look, he's climbing.
Oh my goodness.
Come on in.
What's the matter, Aiden? I'm fine. Oh, he fell. Is he okay?
Push in the chair.
He's okay.
Dijon, you're going to observe the butterflies today?
Sure, I love to play.
It says, what stage is the butterfly in? Is it an egg? Is it larva? Is it a pupa or in the cocoon? Is it a butterfly? Check. I think
Hey, butterfly.
they're ready to go.
Whoa.
We're gonna let them loose. I think we should let them go today.
Yeah, then they can have their baby.
And then they hatch babies, and then those eggs turn into what?
Lavas, and then a chrysalis, and then a butterfly.
What is that called?
A life cycle.
A life cycle. Yeah, we should let them go, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so time for sharing. Jaden O is going to be sharing today. So thanks for getting all set up, Jaden O.
So for sharing and feedback, one student will share their work from the center that they worked at today.
Lisa Lee, thank you for meeting my expectation. Tariq, thank you for meeting my expectations.
So they start by thanking 2 friends for meeting their expectations, and that also gives the audience a cue that we're starting.
Tell us what center you went to. Tell us about this awesome character.
I went to writing center and I write recycling boy because if you don't recycle, then you're gonna have a landfill next to your house.
So tell us about his superpowers, what he looks like. He's very handsome.
He has recycling powers. If somebody have a plastic bottle, he will fly down and say, look at that sign, it says recycling. You gotta put that in a recycling can.
It takes a lot of practice to get to where we are, but doing it over and over gets them here.
Goodness. Okay, read us this work.
Mr. Kaufman is not recycling.
Can you believe it? I told you at home, Mr. Coughlin is not a good recycling person. So what's gonna happen?
He's gonna have a landfill next to his house.
And then he asked for feedback about what they're noticing.
Can I have your feedback on what you're noticing?
Remember, noticing is what, when we're looking.
Listening.
And then they have wondering questions. And the last part is inspiring.
Next time, when you go there, you can actually make a little bit of labels so we know what it is or what kind of things are on the page we should label.
they're getting new ideas from the work that they saw. So they're saying, wow, I'm inspired to go to that center. So that's also an opportunity for them to give him new ideas so he can improve his work.
And that piece of being willing to revisit and revise is built into the curriculum. That's part of the backbone of thinking and feedback.
I think it's also shocking to teachers when they first see it happen. It's like, oh wow, this is actually working.
Because the work is well defined, she doesn't have to be looking over every child's shoulder. She's created an environment where children can be independent and interdependent and not always relying on her to give every direction.
At the end of the year, they've built up a huge stamina to be independent in these centers. A lot of foundational skills are needed to do that, but also the centers are engaging and they're interested, and they also know that they're held accountable too. So, they come to work and they do.